After this week's high-level meetings aimed at securing a peace deal in Ukraine, there is no peace in sight this morning. In fact, Russia followed the meetings with one of the largest aerial attacks on western Ukraine in the war so far, sending nearly 600 drones and 40 missiles into the region. This latest attack hit a university and a U.S.-owned electronics firm. U.S. President Donald Trump has now set another time frame, which is another 2 weeks from now, Russia and Ukraine to strike a deal and end the fighting. For the very latest on where things stand today, I'm joined by Zachary Paikin, research fellow at the Quincy Institute. He is in Geneva this morning. Good morning to you.
Bonjour, good morning.
Bonjour to you. There has been a lot of attention now on post-war Ukraine, what a potential peace deal could look like. But I have to say, I mean, this latest escalation certainly doesn't feel like a peace deal is imminent. What is your assessment of where things stand?
Well, it's very normal for belligerents to fight and to talk at the same time, right? So you're seeing right now both belligerents, both Ukraine and Russia, demonstrating repeatedly that they can hit the other party far beyond the front line. That's perfectly normal because when you fight and talk at the same time, what you're trying to do is to shape the leverage that you have at the negotiating table and try to push for a better deal for your side. So let's, not lose sight of the fact here that ultimately the most important thing going on right now is the diplomatic process and whether or not all parties can reach a negotiated settlement that brings an end to the war, increases Ukraine's and Europe's security, and allows all sides to save face.
So is that what you think the message that Russia is sending right now? Leverage?
Well, absolutely. I mean, Russia is continuing the fight, and that's part of the reason why the initial calls on the part of the United States and Canada and Europe for a ceasefire, an unconditional ceasefire, didn't work because Russia launched this war, this illegal act of aggression against Ukraine, I might add, in 2022 to pursue certain political aims. So it's using war as a political instrument. And so the goal of Russia in this war is to achieve aims such as Ukraine's neutrality and a broader revision to Europe's post-Cold War security order. And in order to do that, they're using their fighting and their advances on the battlefield as leverage. And so that means that if we want to find a safe face-saving way forward for all parties that increases Europe's security and increases Ukraine's security, we're going to have to engage with some of Russia's positions, whether we like it or not. That doesn't mean that we have to agree with them, but it means we have to be ready to negotiate seriously on a comprehensive settlement.
Speaking of negotiations, President Zelensky says he's ready to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. What are the chances of that happening?
I think there's a chance that they might meet, although it would not be ideal for that meeting to take place too soon. I think it would be better if we saw some progress on the political tracks we're seeing right now. So right now, we're seeing Western countries coming together and trying to determine what sort of security guarantees they're willing to offer Ukraine. And once that's done, perhaps we'll see a reaction on the part of Russia. Russia has made it clear that Ukraine cannot be a member of NATO, which is not on the table anyway, since the United States has ruled it out with the tacit support of many European allies, I might add. And another one of Russia's red lines is that there should be no Western military presence on Ukraine's soil. The extent to which we can negotiate on all the issues at hand will depend on the different positions that are presented and what trade-offs can be found in the interests of everyone's security. So I think we need to make some progress on those issues first before you get the leaders in the room. And that way you can focus on getting the leaders there simply to sign a deal that's more or less done, rather than risk a major political blow-up in which both sides basically reiterate their talking points and it leaves us worse off than where we were before. And that's a major risk, because if this political process does not succeed and the different positions of the different actors are not able to be bridged, you could end up with a situation where all sides conclude that a military solution is the only remaining option and that a political solution is no longer viable, and that would be in no one's interest.
So, Zachary, if a deal is reached, what could a post-war Ukraine look like?
Well, it would have to be a Ukraine that is militarily neutral and non-aligned. But that said, I think one of the most important things in this peace process is to get Russia's approval for Ukraine to be able to join the European Union eventually. And that's a process that takes time. There are certain criteria that you have to meet in order to join the European Union. And in order to do that, you're going to need not just an unstable ceasefire, but in fact a more comprehensive peace deal that allows for the stability necessary for private sector investment in Ukraine, rebuilding Ukraine's economy, rebuilding Ukraine's military, by the way, because Ukrainian lines right now on the front line are increasingly brittle. There's an increasing chance that Russia will break through and impose an even worse deal on Ukraine than what we're seeing right now. And so under a comprehensive settlement, you have the stability necessary to get what is truly the most realistic security guarantee for Ukraine, and that is a large Ukrainian military. And so that's what we need to do. That's what we need to be pushing for right now at the battlefield, is to ensure that Ukraine has the ability to defend itself more than anything else. And if it has that, a resilient economy, a resilient military with a strong military industrial base and deep ties with the West, there will be a Western future for Ukraine that is brighter than continued war.
Zachary Paikin, we appreciate your analysis this morning. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.